14 months, silent, unseen. Now Commander Cole pressed her earpiece, breath shallow.
The humans suspect nothing. Their ignorance will be their extinction. The first strike targets their homeworld.
Chen, did you get the full invasion timetable?
Every word. Fleet composition, jump points, even the bypass codes for the early warning net.
We can't send it. Any burst will light us up like a flare.
Record everything. We'll find a way to get it home without a single electron leaving this hull.
The War Council continued, oblivious. Vorath laid out decapitation strikes, civilian targets, total orbital bombardment.
Commander, 17 capital ships in the first wave. If they launch, Earth has 3 hours.
Compress it into a dead drop file, Chen. No transmitters. We do this the hard way.
The hard way meant no signal at all. The fate of billions now sat on a cold storage chip inside a silent ship, with no way to send it. Cole assembled her officers in the red-lit CIC. They had a single purpose: deliver the impossible.
We need a way to deliver this war plan without being detected. Any ideas?
Tight beam might get through, but it'll leave a trace. They'll find us within minutes.
No active emissions. We need a cold delivery, a pure kinetic solution, a rock with data.
A passive drone. No engine, no comms. I can build it. We lob it at Sol.
How long?
11 months minimum. Using gravity slingshots to avoid direct paths.
That's too slow. The fleet could strike before it's halfway.
Broadcasting is death. The drone is our only play. Hassan, start building. No lights, no power tools.
The drone began as a sketch on a cryo bag. No power tools, no warmth, just hands and time. In the red-lit engineering bay, Hassan and Petrov hand-pumped life support while assembling the drone from scavenged parts in absolute silence.
Don't breathe too loud. Even the vibrations from your heartbeat could show on their scans.
Petrov's hands trembled over the circuitry. 14 months of silent darkness had scraped his nerves raw.
I can't do this anymore. Every minute feels like a year. I want to scream just to hear something break the silence.
You scream, we all die. No one hears us. Focus on the drone. It's the only way out of here.
Cole's voice crackled over the intercom, tight with tension.
On schedule. Petrov is holding up.
Petrov's screwdriver slipped, clattering on the bench. He froze, eyes wide with terror at the sound.
I am coming down there. No one moves.
I almost killed us, Commander. The silence. It's eating me alive.
Cole didn't answer. She motioned for Hassan to calm Petrov. Then the proximity alarm screamed.
Patrol boat, 30 meters. They're sweeping the dock with active LiDAR.
If it hits our hull, the refraction will give us away. Their scope will ping like a bell.
Shut down everything. Life support to minimum. No breaths. Now?
The Vreshkar patrol passed within arm's reach. Searchlights scraped across the Whisper's angled hull without catching. Negative contact. Sensor ghost. Return to patrol. The alien voice was bored, dismissive.
That was too close. How much longer on the drone, Hassan?
2 more hours for final assembly. Programming the trajectory will take another hour.
We launch at 0300. No delays. If another patrol finds us, the drone goes out the tube, or we burn.
The drone's fate now rested on a knife-edge schedule, and the Vreshkar fleet was still preparing to leave. At 0200, Hassan reported the drone hardware complete. Chen interfaced the data chip, his face grim.
We could send a compressed burst first. 1 second spike. Earth gets a warning. Then we go silent.
Their sensors will triangulate us in seconds. We won't survive the reply.
Chen, what's the chance Earth gets the burst before they destroy us?
Less than 20%. But waiting 11 months, the fleet will have struck by then.
The weight of 2 bad options hung in the stale air. Cole stared at the drone's image on the monitor.
We trust the drone. No transmission. Load the data and program the trajectory.
Copy. Final programming now. Launch window at 0300.
The chip slid into the drone with a soft click. Hassan began entering the slingshot vectors. The launch was set. Now they just had to survive until 0300 without being found. At 0300, The airlock cycled open without a hiss. The drone sat on its rail, a loaded bullet in the dark.
Launch.
The drone slipped into the void, its trajectory carved in silence, its only signature a vanishing shadow.
Clean separation. It's on the slingshot path. 11 months to Sol.
If it hits the jump point window, Earth gets it before the fleet can mobilize.
If... That's a lot of gravity wells between here and there.
The drone passed a gas giant, its rings dusting the sphere with micrometeoroids. It didn't stop. Inside the Whisper, the clock started. Hand-pumped air, recycled water, compressed paste, day after day. The calendar ticked. Day 200, day 350, day 420. The crew moved like ghosts in their own ship, and the drone kept drifting, a prayer cast into the void, unknown to anyone but the 18 souls who had become silence itself. Silence stretched for weeks. Then the Vreshkar engines lit up the dock, a low rumble through the hull.
They're testing drives. The fleet is preparing to leave. We need to know when.
If they jump now, Earth won't get any warning. The drone is still halfway to Sol.
We did everything we could. Now we just watch them sail to commit genocide.
In the crew quarters, Petrov retched into a bag, his face gray and slick with sweat.
He's running a fever. We need to ration water, or he won't make it another week.
The flagship's engines flared. The armada began to move, a river of steel heading for the jump point.
There they go. 17 capital ships, straight to Earth. And we can't do a thing.
We're just sitting here, watching our world's end. And we can't even scream.
The fleet vanished into the void. The Whisper remained a silent witness. Petrov's breath rattled in the dark. Petrov's body was sealed in a cold storage locker. The crew of the Whisper stood in the dark, no words spoken.
He held out longer than any of us could. He deserves more than silence.
He gets what we all will get. A promise that Earth might still be saved.
In her quarters, Cole opened her logbook. The pen scratched in the quiet. Day 458.
Day 458. We may be here a while longer.
The calendar ticked forward. Day 458. Then 459. The drone was still out there.
The silence is the worst. Not knowing if we'll ever hear another human voice.
Cole sipped from her water tube, her face gaunt, eyes hollow but still sharp.
Commander, engineering reports life support at 70%. We need to start rationing more aggressively.
Somewhere in the black, a drone carried their last hope. But the silence was their only certainty. The drone drifted into Sol space, its hull pitted from micrometeoroids, its signals still silent. A deep space monitoring satellite flagged the object. Retrieval was ordered within the hour.
What is it?
The data chip was intact. Command began decrypting, and faces turned pale.
This is the Whisper's mission log. They recorded the Vreshkar invasion plan, frame by frame. The scheduled first strike was weeks ago. Why are we still here?
Intelligence cross-checked. The Vreshkar fleet had been delayed by a supply chain failure in their outer colonies.
We have their entire war book, bypass codes, targeting lists, deployment schedules. We can stop this.
But the drone carried no status update. No beacon from the Whisper. The 18 were still ghosts. Earth now knew the war plan, but not whether the crew who sent it still lived. 3 weeks before the Vreshkar fleet's expected arrival, Earth published the Whisper's recording to the Galactic Council. The holographic display showed Admiral Vorath himself, audibly ordering the annihilation of Earth's civilians. The Vreshkar delegation erupted in denial. Ambassador Skrell slammed his scaled fist on the table.
A fabrication. Human trickery.
But the timestamps matched known transponder logs. The voice print was Vorath's. No forgery could be that detailed. The censure vote was near unanimous. The Vreshkar Empire was branded an aggressor. Its war plans laid bare. Admiral Vorath rose from his command chair on the flagship, the council feed transmitting his fury to the Empire.
The war is stopped, but not a word from the Whisper. Get me rescue options by 0600.
The diplomatic victory tasted hollow. Somewhere, beyond enemy lines, 18 ghosts still drifted in the dark. In his quarters, Vorath hurled a decanter against the bulkhead. Their stealth frigate had ended the war before his fleet could fire a shot. On the Whisper, The air grew thin, hand-pumped scrubbers wheezed, their efficiency plummeting past 60%.
The primary scrubber's catalyst bed is shot. Without it, Colorado 2 levels will be lethal in 4 days.
4 days. Then we start breathing our own ghosts.
No response from Earth. They don't even know we're alive.
The crew moved in slow motion, conserving oxygen. Every whisper felt like a theft from the air.
Tear. There's a backup catalyst in the emergency locker, but installing it means venting the whole compartment.
Venting means we lose 40% of our remaining atmosphere. We won't survive the repressurization.
We're out of good options. Do it. I'll take the risk.
Hassan began the delicate work of bypassing safety protocols in the dark, his hands steady despite the tremors. The clock read day 620. The Whisper was no longer just a ghost, it was a tomb in the Earth Command Center. Admiral Hayes received the latest intercepts. The Whisper's life support was estimated below 40%.
We have a window. The Vreshkar fleet is held at their staging point by the Council's injunction. If we move now, we can extract them before they notice Captain Avery. You'll take the Umbra. It's the only ship that can match the Whisper's stealth profile. Full emissions silence the entire mission.
We'll need to deep jump past their picket line. If we're seen, the Council will call it an act of war.
Then, don't be seen. Your mission: find the Whisper, transfer her crew, and get out. No heroics.
The SS Umbra detached from the orbital dock, its hull already dark as the void, and accelerated into the jump point. On the bridge, Avery reviewed the last known Whisper position, parked between 2 docking cradles, dead center of the Volkar-Vren anchorage. The rescue was a needle thread into enemy territory, and the needle had to be invisible.
Estimated transit, 18 days. Let's hope the Whisper has that much air left.
The Umbra vanished into the jump, and the clock for the rescue began. On the Whisper, Hassan finished the bypass. The scrubber coughed back to life, but a hairline crack in the coolant line sprayed a silenced death into the dark.
The seal, it's breached. I can't stop it. Get back.
Hassan, no.
The supercooled gas hit him before he could back away, flash freezing the air around him. Ice formed on his gloves, his face, the bulkhead.
The drone. Did it work? Did we save them?
You saved us all. Rest now, big man.
Hassan's hand went limp in Cole's grip. The Whisper's last engineer, the man who built their only hope, was gone.
2 left. We're just waiting our turn, breathing borrowed air.
They sealed him in the cold locker next to Petrov. No ceremony, just the click of the latch and the silence of the void. Heavier now. Day 638. The air was icy, the silence heavier than iron, and somewhere beyond enemy lines a rescue ship was hurtling through the jump corridor. Not knowing it might already be too late, Cole gathered her remaining crew in the freezing CIC. The hibernation pods were a backup, but no one knew if they would wake.
The reactors can't sustain pods and life support. If we hibernate, we're betting the rescue finds this husk before the pods fail.
But if we keep patching the scrubbers, we might kill ourselves faster. Hassan died trying.
I am not crawling into a box to wait for death. We find a way to fix this.
Chen rubbed his frozen fingers. The bypass had bought them hours, not days. The catalyst was failing again.
There's a wildcat option. We link the emergency scrubber directly to the hand pump system. No safeties. If it backfires, we lose everything.
Do it. I'll hand pump the air myself if I have to.
Rodriguez wiped her face, then nodded. They had no engineer, but they had desperation in a wiring diagram. Chen opened the panel, his breath misting in the red light. The jury rig was ugly, born of 2 deaths and a refusal to be the third. The first pump came hard, then steady. Outside, the Umbra was still days away, but the Whisper refused to become a grave. The Umbra slipped into the Vreshkar system with no engine signature, a shadow among the stars.
Passive sensors only. I want the Whisper's last transponder echo from 12 months ago.
The anchorage was eerily quiet. Most of the fleet had departed, leaving only automated sentries and a few picket ships.
Heat, bloom, 3 clicks. A patrol boat running dark. Cut all non-essential systems.
The Umbra coasted on inertia. a cold rock in the void as the patrol's LiDAR swept the sector. The Vreshkar ship passed without pinging. Avery exhaled, then ordered the helm to resume the search.
They're not even looking for us. They think the war's over.
At the Whisper's last known coordinates, the Umbra found only empty docking cradles and debris. The ship had drifted off its station.
Where are they? Expand the search grid. If they're still alive, they'll be drifting cold.
The clock was running. Every hour brought the Whisper's crew closer to suffocation, and the Umbra had only a day's worth of stealth time left. On the 12th hour of searching, a thin signal pinged on the Umbra's passive array, a repeating distress code.
A distress beacon. Narrow beam. Repeating. That's got to be the Whisper. Set intercept. Full stealth.
The Umbra adjusted course, angling toward a dark shape that drifted near the discarded husk of a docked freighter. The Whisper. Its beacon blinked a faint pulse in the void, its angular hull scarred by micrometeoroids and silence.
Whisper. This is Umbra. Do you copy? Over.
Only the beacon answered, a mechanical pulse with no voice, over and over. As they closed, they saw frostbite patterns covering the viewports like white tendrils. The ship was dead but not empty. Passive scans painted a grim picture. 3 faint heat traces clustered in the aft compartment, barely above freezing, yet unmistakably human.
3 heartbeats. They're still alive.
The airlock indicator blinked a steady, welcoming green. The Whisper was ready to accept them. The Umbra extended a docking collar, a silent kiss between 2 ghosts. The Whisper's airlock opened without a hiss.
Medical team. Get them warm. We've got minutes before that beacon lights up every patrol in the sector.
You came. We didn't think anyone would.
They wrapped the survivors in heated blankets and hauled them across, weak but breathing. Then the Umbra's passive sensors lit up. A Vreshkar cruiser had locked onto the beacon's origin.
Deploy the decoy buoy. Full power on that old freighter's reactor. Make them chase a ghost.
A spark flared near the derelict freighter. The decoy blossomed into a heat signature identical to a fleeing corvette. The Vreshkar cruiser altered course. The Umbra used the distraction to slip into a shadowed corridor between dock arms.
Time to run. If they figure out the decoy before we hit the jump point, we're done.
The Umbra went dark, a cold shard in the void. The escape had begun, but the enemy was closer than ever. The Umbra hit the jump point with seconds to spare. The Vreshkar cruiser fired blind, but bit only vacuum. In the medbay, Cole woke to the hum of a working life support system, not her own.
Commander, your drone made it. The Council saw everything. The Vreshkar fleet never fired a shot.
They were going to burn Earth to ash, and we stopped them with a 12-centimeter sphere no one ever saw. Petrov, Hassan, they paid for that sphere.
They knew the price. They built that drone in the dark, with their last strength.
We're alive because of them. The whole world is.
The Umbra surged through jump space. Outside, the stars blurred. Inside, the silence was no longer a weapon.
We'll deliver the mission log in person. Make sure every name is read, every sacrifice recorded.
Ahead, the blue marble of Earth grew larger. The ghosts were finally coming home. The Umbra settled onto the orbital dock, a silent homecoming after 18 months. The hangar was packed with personnel and media. Admiral Hayes stood at the bottom of the ramp.
Commander Cole, on behalf of the Sol Protectorate, welcome home. Your crew's sacrifice saved billions.
Thank you, Admiral. But the real heroes are still in the void. I have their logs.
The ceremony began. Medals were pinned on weary uniforms, applause echoing in the vast bay. The Stealth Star was cold metal and sharp points, a fitting emblem for those who lived in shadow. A flag was folded over Hassan's service record and given to his widow. The hangar grew still. Outside, Earth's news screens carried the headline, "Whisper Crew Saves Humanity. War averted without a shot."
They'd want us to smile now. Even if it hurts, we won.
The ceremony ended, but the weight remained. Cole held the mission log tightly, ready to make sure every name was remembered. Skrell's face appeared on Vorath's screen. The Admiral's quarters were still shattered from his earlier rage.
You have been removed from command, Vorath. The Empire will surrender. That is the Council's decree.
Weeks later, a salvage crew located the derelict Whisper. They boarded, flashlights cutting the dark. The logbook floated near the command station, its pages frosted but intact. Day 458. We may be here a while longer. The salvage leader turned the page, his expression unreadable inside his helmet. For the first time, the Vreshkar understood how they had been defeated by a ship that never fired a shot. The logbook entry was transmitted to the Council, along with the Whisper's black box data. The armistice was signed within days. The Vreshkar Admiralty bowed to a ghost. The war ended not with a bang, but with a line of frozen ink on a page turned in the dark. Years later, the museum hall was hushed. The drone floated in its anti-gravity case, a dark sphere under soft light.
We launched it, and then waited 14 months, not knowing if it would ever be found.
A child pressed small hands to the glass, tracing the drone's pitted hull with a finger.
It never fired a shot. It just carried a message in the dark.
Later, in her small office, Cole sat before a model of the Whisper. A blank logbook rested on the desk. She wrote, "We lived in the dark so others could live in the light." The pen hesitated over the final letter, then stopped. She looked up at the model, a dart-shaped ghost that had carried 18 souls and a world's hope. In the museum, the drone still drifted, its silent journey now a legend for all who passed, and the whisper of its passage never faded. Deep in the black, the silhouette of the Whisper appeared, half-transparent, its stealth shimmer blue cyan. It was a ghost that had never been seen, yet had ended a war before it could begin. The cloak engaged fully. The Whisper dissolved into the starfield, leaving only emptiness, but frozen in time. In a logbook page, the message remained, Day 458. We may be here a while longer. A line that became the epitaph of a war and the birth of a legend. They never saw our stealth frigate, not until it was far too late. They never will, not unless another enemy tests the dark. The stars hold their silence. And somewhere out there, the Whisper still drifts, a silent guardian of Earth, its crew still watching, still waiting, and in the museum, the drone still floats, and in the void, the Whisper still endures.